Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now let's journey back to March 2nd, 1920, when British intelligence operative John Charles Byrnes was assassinated in Dublin, a defining moment in the Irish War of Independence. By the early months of 1920, the conflict between the Irish Republican Army, IRA, and British forces had escalated into a full-scale guerrilla war. British intelligence networks in Ireland were critical to maintaining control, but Michael Collins, the Director of Intelligence for the IRA, had a plan to systematically dismantle them. To do this, he created a specialized assassination unit known as the Squad. This elite group was tasked with identifying and eliminating British spies, informers, and intelligence operatives who posed a direct threat to the Irish Republican movement. John Charles Byrnes was one such operative. Byrnes, a former officer in the Royal Irish Constabulary, had been recruited into British intelligence due to his knowledge of Ireland and its nationalist movements. He was stationed in Dublin, working undercover to gather information on IRA activities and disrupt their operations. However, his efforts did not go unnoticed by Collins and his intelligence network. Once Byrnes was identified as a British asset, he was marked for execution. On the morning of March 2nd, 1920, Byrnes was ambushed in Dublin by members of the Squad. The operation was swift and efficient, as was characteristic of Collins' intelligence strategy. Byrnes was shot and killed, sending a clear message to British forces that their intelligence agents were vulnerable. His death was part of a broader campaign to cripple British intelligence efforts in Ireland, which ultimately proved highly effective. The assassination of Byrnes was one of many targeted killings carried out by the Squad. These operations severely undermined British efforts to suppress the IRA, forcing them to rely more heavily on auxiliary forces such as the Black and Tans and the Auxiliary Division, both of which became infamous for their brutal reprisals against Irish civilians. The escalating cycle of violence only strengthened public support for the IRA and further eroded British authority in Ireland. Michael Collins' intelligence war was a masterclass in asymmetrical warfare. Instead of engaging the British in open combat, he waged a shadow war, using espionage, assassinations, and counterintelligence to weaken the enemy. The strategy paid off. By 1921, the British government, unable to effectively combat the IRA's tactics, sought a truce that eventually led to the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty in December 1921. The killing of John Charles Byrnes on this day in 1920 was a small but significant moment in the Irish struggle for independence. It was a testament to the ruthless efficiency of Collins' intelligence network and the determination of the IRA to achieve their goal of a free Ireland. While the war was far from over, every fallen British agent brought the Republicans one step closer to their ultimate objective. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich past. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go fóill.